UltraCycling Magazine. And the show we
Welcome to the UltraCycling Magazine show.
Lee Kreider here with UltraCycling Magazine. I'm here today with Coloso. Is that the way I should tell you?
Yeah, sure, Coloso. That's my name. I chose that name.
That's why I call you that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for calling me that.
Sense. We've had a little fun getting started here, and I'm so glad to have you with us, Coloso. You're in Mexico City. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's weird to be here because I don't know. It's interesting to have someone asking me about cycling.
Is Mexico your home country?
Yeah, I'm Mexican and I live between Mexico City and a small place called Ixtapan de la Sal, which is very, very small. It's a place that you have water fountains, warm fountains, those ones that you can bathe and stuff.
Well, the reason why I have Coloso on is I spotted an article in the on the website of World UltraCycling Association of a record you set in Cuba. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We covered half of the island. I was trying to the whole island, but there was a lot of problems. It's a very nice country, but it's very, very different from anything else. No, so I come up with a little bit of problems, but I think it was a good way to approach to this record. And I'm thinking that next February I will do it again. Go for the whole length.
Well, Coloso.
Yeah.
Before we get into your Cuban adventure, this obviously isn't the first time you've ridden a bicycle. Hey, tell me a little bit about your entry into the world of cycling and into the world of long distance cycling.
Well, I started kind of late in life. I started cycling around 28, 27 years old. I was very busy thinking that life was about working and, getting married and having kids and all that kind of stuff that people tell you that's what life and that's what success is. But I've never been that kind of people. So it was very hard for me to try to do that life. I never got married, fortunately, but I tried the job thing and I tried the successful part of life in that way, in that sense, in the economic and materialistic way. And it was never my thing. So I was able to sell my business and start doing whatever I wanted to do. The problem was that I didn't know what to do. I always liked sports and I always liked, here in Mexico, football is huge. But I was a little bit old for that to try to be professional or anything. So one time someone invited me to go to a triathlon and I had a great time. I loved it. But then going into the sea at 7 a.m. wasn't my thing. It was too cold for me. So I said, okay, let's find something else. And then the race, it was cool, but still it didn't satisfy me. It satisfied me, But the thing that I really liked was the cycling. So the coach told me, wait, so why don't you try to do only the bike part? Just be a cyclist. And that kind of made a click on my head. So I started doing only cycling. And I think that I was sort of a natural guy for cycling. I'm very small. I'm 1 meter and 60 centimeters, and I'm 57 kilos. So that was good for cycling. and I started training and stuff. And then one day I come across a race that is the Chiha Challenge. I don't know if you've heard about it. And it
Say
says
again, what is that?
the Chiha Challenge. It's announced as the toughest ride in the USA. So that kind of like I wanted to see. It's in Alabama. It's in Alabama, and it was like something that I liked, no. And the route was had these two climbs that were really steep and they were really hard. So I thought that was my sort of route. So I went there, and I don't know, maybe it's beginner's luck or whatever, but I end up eighth, and I qualify for the championship in France that was going to be held in France that year. I don't know if you heard this the Gran Fondo, the UCI Gran Fondo series. It's one of those races, and there's a championship at the end of the series. So I qualified there, and then it kind of became like sort of real, no? Like, what the hell am I gonna do in a championship race, no? Because I have no idea what I'm doing. So I found a proper trainer, and he told me, okay, when is the race? Like in 5 months. Okay, that's basically no time to do anything, but let's try our best. And that's what I did. So I trained, and finally I went to France. It was in Albi, France, and I was so excited and really happy. I had my Mexican uniform, and everything was great. And we started, and around 20 kilometers in the race, there was a huge crash, like around 50, 60 cyclists crashed, and there were broken bones and broken bicycles, and one of those bikes was mine. Fortunately, I didn't get hurt, but I couldn't continue, so that was like kind of a disappointing thing to happen. But anyway, that was a fantastic experience for me, and I wanted more. One day I saw there was a virtual race, an ultra cyclist virtual race. It was around 1,000 kilometers, and well, I mean, I don't think it's a real thing, but at the end of the day, you have to cover 1,000 kilometers in whatever route or whatever way you can do it. No, so I started. I signed in and I started, and I ended up in second place. So I thought, okay, maybe this thing of riding my bike for a long time, it's something that I do like, that I like more than racing. I always tell people that I'm a cyclist, and then they say, like, immediately, they say, are you a winner? Are you the one that wins the race? And I'm, no, I never win. I've never won a race, okay? Never in my life won a race. I'm an achiever. I'm the guy that achieves the goal that sets for himself, no? So I thought, okay, if I'm not a winner and I'm going to achieve things, maybe I can achieve really, really long distance. So after we're set free from the pandemic, what I did was to start looking for a coach. And I found in a webpage in the Bolivian Federation of Cycling, there was a conference given by Ashton Lambie. I don't know if you know him. He's a fantastic cyclist. He was the first man to go under 4 minutes in the velodrome for the individual pursuit that fast, and then have this amazing endurance. So I was watching the speech that he was giving in the Bolivian Cycling Federation, and at the end, he said, okay, so I just finished my training, my coach training program. So if anyone wants to have a coach or have me as a coach, just send me an email, and I'll see what I can do. So I immediately do that, I mean, and that's what I did. And he replied back. And I told him, you know what? I want to start ultra distance. I have a little experience. By that time, I did just for fun from Mexico City all the way to Cancun. I don't know if you can picture the map. Yeah, that's around 2,000 kilometers. And it was fantastic. I mean, I loved it. It's completely different as a race or anything else. I was just riding for fun, It took me like 15 days to cross the whole thing. But it was something that I actually felt happy about. So I talked to Ashton, and I tell him, okay, you know what? I want to set a world record because I found the WUCA page, and and I want it to be the first Mexican record because there's
Okay.
no other Mexican rider
And
that is there.
about when did you find the World UltraCycling
Well,
Association page?
that's around 2020, I think, because I
Okay.
set the record in 2021 from Mexico to Acapulco, which is 400K, but it has two mountains in the middle. One of them is 40 kilometers, and the
Now,
other one is 100. Yeah.
I didn't look on the website for your name other than the report I just saw from Cuba.
Yeah.
But that record was what they would call a point to point, a capital to capital record, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Ashton was the one that trained me, and he did something very special for me. But training for an ultra distance, I think it's not about the distance. It's about your mentality, and I think that's something you've heard in different ways in this show or from other ultra cyclists. I mean, you cannot actually train for 2,000, 3,000 kilometers or whatever kilometers. You cannot do it. You train your mind to do it. You train your mind to endure the pain in your body or whatever is disturbing you, and you have to train that side, and that's what Ashton taught me. Obviously you have to do the kilometers, and you have to do the whole work, obviously, but the most important thing is that you have to keep your mind clear of all the troubles and try to do everything to make it work, right? So for the that and that at that time where the when the Acapulco record was, I was completely convinced that this was my path, that this was the cycling that I liked. And maybe I'm not that fast, but I can endure that. That's something that I know. But in Mexico, there's not that many ultra races per se. So what I started doing was my own thing, my own ideas, my own routes, because at the end, I think the difference between ultra races and traditional races, I think we are more. I mean, we're cyclists, but we are more on the side of the adventure, and we're more on the side of let's see what happens if I go that way, right? So I think that's what has been driven me to do all these kind of things. Now here in Mexico, I've done many routes that are well enough to be called ultra, and most of my friends they say, okay, but why do you do that if at the end there's nothing? Well, at the end it's me. At the end there's me, no?
It's the trip, not the destination, isn't it?
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
Coloso, before
Yeah.
we get into talking more about your Cuba adventure, and there were some aspects of it when I read your report that we need to get into in case
Okay.
anybody else would want to go to Cuba, they need to know what you learned, I
Oh
think,
yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't just pack your bike and go down there. Is there any other ultra cycling community or people in Mexico much? I have not heard about many.
No, actually, there's. I've recently discovered one race that it's called the Le Tour de Frankie, and that guy he invented a race from Mexico City to Huatulco, which is at the beach, and it's 800 kilometers. But the coolest thing of this ride is that it's like 10% it's road, and the 90% it's gravel. But
Okay.
then it's not only gravel, it's going up. You have to cross because you see Mexico. We have, well, just like in the States, you have the two how do you call them, the two
Two
mountains,
mountain
well, not
ranges.
mountains
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, we have the continuation here in Mexico, so you have to cross that part, and it's all on gravel. So it is an amazing race. It's like I told you, it's 800 kilometers, but it's not about the distance. It's like you say, it's about the ride, the whole trip, the sceneries that you see and everything, that's one of the communities. And then something that I found out that we have in Mexico, and it's very unique, I think. It's we have, well, as you know, Mexico is it's very religious, it's very Christian. So what we have, it's peregrinations. That's how you call them. I don't know, like when people from certain religion, they
You
walk
talking
from.
about like a pilgrimage?
Exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
pilgrimage,
Okay.
sorry. Um, that's what we have here, and sometimes those pilgrimages are like 500K or 400 or whatever, no. So sometimes I ride with them, because it's like I tell you, it's very unique because it's not a race, obviously, and people go in the weirdest of the ways. Sometimes carrying like a picture of God or a saint or whatever, and they do the ride like that. I mean, you go there with your caravan bike and your two the two things to drink water and whatever, and then you see this guy in
There's a
pants or whatever.
famous
Yeah, those are like the two things that I found here that are like near ultracycling. There's also a race that it's 24 hours in a car racing circuit, but I mean, it's nice and everything. It's fun, but it's not the same. It's definitely not the same. At least not for me. I rather be like in the road, in the nature, and seeing stuff than just riding around a circuit. No, but it's fine. But basically, that's more or less all that you have here in Mexico on
What
bike.
about randonneuring in Mexico? I don't remember seeing or hearing about anybody from Mexico at Paris Brest Paris, for example. The
No, there's one guy that does it in the northern part of Mexico. It's called wait, give me a second. It's called Mazatlan. Mazatlan is the town, which is also a beach, very nice. But it's not that popular, and this guy is not actually like doing it like for everyone. He does it for himself and for a couple of friends.
I understand most of your stuff has been self-supported. You don't have a crew. Is that
No.
correct?
That's correct. I started with a crew. The record for Acapulco, I did it with a crew, and it was okay. And then I tried 5 more times to do something different from Mexico to Guadalajara, which is another major city in Mexico. But the problem is that I get very nervous with the crew behind me. In Mexico, the roads after a certain hour, there's a lot of buses, of big buses like trailers and stuff. So I get really really anxious. I don't like it. I feel like, I mean, I know that the one that is riding the bike is me, but then the car is behind me, So I feel all the time that there's going to be a truck like crashing into them because we're going slow. I mean, we're going on a bike, so it's normal. So I didn't like it. So when I saw that there were opportunities to do it unsupported, that was like a relief for me. I rather be alone than having the responsibility of everyone else.
Well, the advent of GPS has made unsupported authentication possible.
Yeah.
So let's go to Cuba.
Yeah.
You started in the easternmost point of the island,
Yeah.
but I guess you ran into a little trouble even getting to the eastmost point. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, first of all, let me start by saying, okay, Cuba, it's a fantastic country. Well, the people are fantastic. They're very nice, very very helpful. When they see you and they see that you're not from there, and they see you like all dressed up and with a bike and whatever, they're always like, so where are you going? What are you doing? What do you need? What do you want? They're very very nice. Okay. And I thought that my bank card could be like, you can put it in an ATM and whatever, that's it. And well, apparently not, but that's something else. Anyway, when I got there, I had to look for someone over there to be my contact because I needed to know a few things, like how are the roads, what I can do, what I cannot do, that kind of stuff.
well, now let's go back to the ATM issue and deal with that.
Okay. Okay.
you went there like I would if I were traveling anywhere these
Yeah.
days with a limited amount of cash
Yeah.
and a ATM card,
Exactly. Like a normal person would do.
not a credit card, a money card. I
Exactly. A
mean,
debit card.
a,
Yeah.
a bank card, withdrawal card.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you found there is no place it works in Cuba.
No. No. Especially if your card has a chip, that's it. I mean, it won't work ever anywhere. There's no chance that it's gonna work. So that kind of complicated
Now,
everything.
would a credit card work there?
No,
No credit card.
not to withdraw money. No, I mean you can pay in certain
You
places.
can pay for things with a
You
credit
you
card.
can pay for things, but like if you're on the road and you go like I don't know in a very small town and there's like a store, you cannot use your card. I mean, that's only cash. That's it.
So the first word, if you're thinking about going to Cuba to cycle
Yeah,
or challenge Coloso's record,
yeah,
you better take money.
exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know what the status of travel is right now. I don't know that Americans can get to Cuba. Do you know?
I think that they can, well, that you can, but still, it's you have to do a lot of paperwork for Americans to
Okay.
get in. I think it's not that simple, but I think that you can.
So I assume you took Mexican pesos, as it were.
No, actually, I took dollars because they're preferred.
You took US dollars.
Yeah, I took US dollars. They're preferred, but a good tip is that you better change your money on the street than on the bank. They give you a better rate, and I mean it's. I know it sounds like iffy, but it's much better rate, and it's a good way to find people that can help you in whatever situation.
Okay. Good land. In this world, most of us have forgotten about what it's like to carry any kind of money with us. It's even kind of scary.
Of course, yeah,
Well, I need to ask this question.
yeah.
How safe is it in Cuba?
Extremely safe, extremely safe. There are really tough laws about like robbing a tourist or doing anything wrong to a tourist. There's really tough law, so you're very safe in that way. You're very safe. I mean, if you try to be all this superior and like flash your cash and this is me, the tourist, you will always find people that are not going to
You
be
mean
happy
like,
about that.
yeah, so it's your attitude that's going to have a lot to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Like everywhere in the world, if you go with a bad attitude, everything's gonna be wrong and everything's gonna be bad.
Now,
But
Colosso, I
yeah.
found both here in the United States and traveling with my bike in other countries
Uh-huh.
that when you're on a bike, it kind of smooths the way for you in a way.
Absolutely. 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 The bike is a perfect way to start a conversation because there's always like someone that is gonna ask you, so where do you come from? You know, like I don't know, from Mexico. No, but from where in Cuba did you start? Oh, I started in
Yeah,
Roncalli.
yeah,
And then they go, what? You
yeah,
started
yeah,
where?
yeah. Yeah, I found that so much to be the case that it's like, you can pull into a restaurant or a bar or something in a car and people don't, well,
They
I'll
won't
say,
care. Yeah,
give a what for.
exactly.
You pull
Yeah,
in there with a bike, and right away they want to know more about you. Maybe they want to know about the bike, what you've been
yeah,
doing, where you're from.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you've experienced that too. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
very true. Yeah,
you had a little trouble getting to the very eastern end of the island. So how
very
did that
much.
work? Tell that story a little bit. I think that's so interesting.
Yeah, I love that part of the story because it's like a dream, and that's where I started thinking, okay, this is why am I here again? Like trying to convince myself, like, why did I
It'll
thought
be
about this
like
crazy?
this.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, first of all, getting a bus, it's all right. I mean, it's a normal way to do it. That would be enough. The problem is that the bus would only take you to Pinar del Rio, which is like 100K from La Habana.
All right.
The thing is that the eastern part, the Faro, the lighthouse, it's 200 kilometers from Pinar. Okay, and as I was riding a cab, that I told my contact over there, which is called Ernesto, by the way, which is a fantastic name, being in Cuba, for Ernesto Guevara, Ernesto Che
Yeah.
Guevara.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, that was amazing. Um, he was in the cab with me, with the driver, and they were like, they've never been that far from La Habana. There's no way. I mean, there's no reason for them to be there, and there are no tourists that want to go there.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, they had no idea where they were going either. Right? So we started going there, and I got there around 9 p.m. at night, and we immediately went over there. Okay, so by midnight we were crossing Pinar del Rio, and we were a little bit ahead from there, and I was trying to sleep, and I could feel the bumps in the road, and I was like, okay, there's no way the whole road is going to be like this. I mean, it's impossible. Later I learned that the main highway, let's call it the main highway, was built by the Soviet Union in 1960 whatever. So they keep, well, that part, well, the part from Pinar to Guantanamo, they keep it like in good state. But the 200 kilometers after Pinar, they're really, really bad. They don't give maintenance to that part, at least not that often. So I could feel the bumps in the car. So I was like, okay, this is going to be really, really bad. This is starting to become a really bad idea. So I told the guy, Ernesto, I need to buy something, like, because I don't know what's going to be at the end of the road. I need to buy water and I need to buy food. And he was, okay, there's nothing at the end of the road, but we can find something around here. Don't worry. So we started riding, blah, blah, blah. And we found a shop, a small store, a convenience store, and there were only crackers. But like, the salty crackers that you put, like fish or whatever, like, the
Cracker
cracker.
sandwiches.
Yeah, crackers, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's when I thought, okay, well, yeah, there's not going to be the same things that I have in Mexico, so I have to improvise. The problem is that there wasn't much to improvise with. Not because, and that's something that I want to make really clear. It's not that there's nothing to it, right? It's just, it's not the same, and definitely not what we cyclists look for. Okay, there wasn't like a bar of chocolate or like some sort of like a sports drink or whatever. No, it's water and crackers and maybe, I don't know, like chips, but I don't eat chips, so that was hard.
Let's get out to the end where you run into a military
Oh
installation.
yeah, that's the best part. So we're riding there. It's almost 3 a.m, and I'm asleep. By that time, I was asleep, and all of a sudden, Ernesto like shakes me and, dude, you have to wake up because we have a problem. Okay, I was like, what can he consider a problem? Okay, so I wake up or whatever, and I see this guy in the window, a military guy, with the cap and the green thing and the gun, the machine gun in his hand. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? So I look outside the window, and honestly, Lee, in my head, I started to hear the James Bond theme song, dun, 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 because it was like being in the Soviet Union and like having like the militaries there and the jeeps and the tanks and whatever. And I was like, what the hell am I doing here? So this guy goes like, so what are you doing here? Well, I'm from Mexico and I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, really? Are you going to cross Cuba in the bicycle? Well, just halfway, but yeah. No way, I cannot believe you. And he called someone else, and then they start like asking, and then there was another guy, and all of a sudden I have 10 guys there asking me and blah, and asking me what I was doing and why, and all of that. And he said, okay, if all of this is true, where's your bicycle? Well, in the trunk. Okay, let me see it. So I opened the trunk, I showed them the bike, and it was okay. So there's 50 kilometers from here to the lighthouse. How long is it going to take you to be here? And I was like, I don't know, depending on the road. No, 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 no. We have to know. We have to know. Okay, let's say an hour and a half, 2 hours. And he was, okay, cool. I'm going to wait for you here because I want to see you passing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's no way, there's nothing else to do over there. No, it's not a military
So,
thing.
so essentially, they let you into a military reservation. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's actually it's a natural reservation, but they have a military post there. So so he was like so excited, and everyone was excited. He pretended to go to the little house that he had there, and he pretended to call someone, and then he came back, and I pretended to be really really happy because the general said yes. So everyone was happy with the
Everybody got
lie. Exactly, everyone was happy with the lie. So we crossed and everything, and then things, I mean, that was like the first time that I said, okay, this is crazy. Why am I here? This is really really crazy. And then you could see like the road, like really really flat road, but it covered with trees because I was asleep. I haven't seen anything, like I haven't seen the scenery there. It was very very dark, but it was all covered with trees, and you could see crabs. But like I'm telling you, like the size of my two hands, like crabs, big crabs. And I thought, okay, if one of those things grab my leg, it's gonna crack it. It's gonna chop it off.
So you had overgrowth onto the road.
Yeah. And we got to the lighthouse finally at like 3:30, whatever. And I started like, so I stayed there. Like I had the lighthouse in front of me, and there was one little light bulb, and I was there, and I was okay. Yeah.
In the description that you'll see on the video below here,
Yeah.
you'll see a link to the World UltraCycling report. You'll see photos Coloso is talking about here.
Yeah.
Sometimes people want to be too helpful, Coloso.
Yeah.
It's like the farmer in Minnesota who thought, this crazy guy, I'm going to put his bike in my truck and take him there. I don't want to see him ride.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Say the first couple 100 kilometers roads are pretty bad.
Yeah. Sort of bad. I mean, with the daylight and everything, okay, there's parts that are really really bad, and then there's part that you can ride easily. Like, I mean, I've rode I've rode in the States a couple of times, and definitely, I mean, you have really good roads in most of the parts, but then you also have like roads that are with a little bit of holes or like whatever, like they
Yeah.
lack maintenance. I think it's more or less like that, like
Okay.
the
Now,
good roads over there are the bad ones in the States.
let's ask you, tell me what bike you had, what wheels, what tires.
Okay, I have a Trek, an Emonda Trek SL, which is kind of old, and my wheels. That's something that I like to share with people always. They are Tanus. I don't know if you've heard them. They are Korean. They are Tanus, and they have no air. They're just like a rubber thing,
Okay.
So that's really
Cuba.
helpful for these kind of roads, And they're like, well, I mean, I don't know.
What's the how many millimeters?
It's
Wide.
23.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you manage to get money eventually?
Well, that was really hard because Ernesto only had. I gave him $100, and he changed me that amount, which is like 32 or 35,000 pesos. And it took me really really far. I mean, 600 kilometers. And it's not that I was like taking care of the money and, oh no, I don't want to spend. I had to buy whatever I had to buy, and I was fine.
But let me ask you this: you stop in a restaurant or
Yeah.
someplace to get something to eat. An average meal,
Yeah,
what would it cost you there?
that would be around 1,000 pesos, 800 pesos, which would make it like $2 to $5 maybe.
Okay.
And it's a very good meal.
So it's
Well, it's something
very
interesting.
reasonable.
Yeah, very, very reasonable. One important thing is that, well, I'm vegetarian, so if anyone is trying to go to Cuba and keep on being vegetarian, it's really hard because over there everything has either chicken or pork, so it is hard. At the end of the day, I'm vegetarian for my, for sort of, I don't want to kill animals. That's it. and
Oh, okay.
and but at the end of the day, I understand that I mean, it's, I have to eat something, no? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
ended up by eating a few meals with meat, and it's really well done, really safe. I mean, you don't get sick, nothing at all. I mean,
Okay. So
it's really fun.
vegetarians and vegans beware.
Yeah, very, very much, very much. It's hard to
Okay.
find something else.
Well, you didn't make it all the way to the western end. What was it? Just fact you ran out of time, or
No, I ran out of money. The
you
problem
ran
is
out of
that,
money? Well,
yeah, the
that,
problem is that I
that
got to La Habana and I said, okay, okay, because this is another good tip. There's been for the last 2 years really bad blackouts in Cuba, but I mean blackouts as in 3, 4, 5 days without electricity. Okay,
okay.
so I had my battery. I mean, external battery to recharge cell phone and lights and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not enough. It's not enough because there are places that have been without electricity for 2 or 3 days in a row. Okay,
That's good to
so
know
that's
for
something that
anybody.
you have to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Bring at least two batteries, I think, that can last you for, I mean, if you're gonna do the whole thing, I was planning on doing it
Well,
in 6 days.
another
So
option that some of our people, particularly self-supported people, is the dynamo hub. To charge
yeah,
your
yeah,
stuff.
that could be also a good
That would
option.
be a
Yeah,
solution there.
yeah,
I understand it works very well, and the drag is minimal,
exactly. Yeah,
not noticeable.
that could work a lot too. Yeah,
Yeah. Charging things was a problem.
charging things was a problem, but then on the good side, there was one night, well, the second night, I was riding, and that's something else. There's barely cars on the highway. I mean, but like when I tell you like barely, it's like
So
you
no
see
traffic to speak
no
of.
traffic, no traffic. I mean, you could pass 2, 3 hours without a car passing you. So it's extremely safe. You at night is very safe. There are holes and everything, so you have to be very careful about that. But I mean, basically speaking about traffic, it's really safe. There's like no cars at all, and the ones that are like circulating, they give you the space. They move. So that's really good. And every, I don't know, maybe every 30, 40 kilometers there's a police car, which is like a control post, but they don't stop you, they don't tell you anything. It's very, it's like a normal thing. So that's also good to know, because maybe you can, I mean, if you're in trouble or
Okay.
lack of water or whatever, there's someone that can help you.
Okay.
But let me tell you about the good thing about the electricity. There was this part on the second night that there wasn't like a single light bulb, but not even like a Christmas light, like a small light, nothing at all. So I thought it was a good idea to turn off my lights and see what happened. And really, Lee, it's something really cool, because you know how poets say that the skies with millions of
Oh
stars
yeah,
and
yeah,
whatever. Okay, Lee, there are more. There are more. It's amazing,
yeah,
beautiful. That's
yeah,
something that
yeah.
I've never seen in my life. I mean,
It's I understand that. I was raised on a farm, Coloso,
oh,
out here in the
okay,
country, and in those
yeah,
days we had electricity.
yeah,
Not every farm did. We did,
yeah,
but you had one little light bulb and nothing else.
yeah.
And my father would take me outside. He knew the name of stars and so forth. He could
Wow.
point them out. I go out now and you can't see anything,
No, there's
between
no way you can
the
see anything.
light pollution, so forth. And it's such a joy to be out somewhere, like maybe in the mountains of Colorado or someplace like
Yeah.
that. And all of a sudden, when they talk about the universe, you begin to understand what they're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I that's this the first thing that I thought, okay, this is the universe. This is what is
Yeah,
immense
it's
and
wonderful.
Yeah, I've
Wonderful.
never seen that. I've never seen that, and really, honestly, I think that it's something that every cyclist and everyone know. But I mean, us as cyclists, we have to experience at least once because
Yeah.
it's one of the most beautiful scenarios that I've seen in my life.
Something I've said to people that a cyclist who has ridden across the country, we know something that other people don't know,
Yeah.
and that is how big this country is.
Oh yeah.
You, on a bicycle, you get the measurement of a country,
Yes, definitely, definitely.
be it large or small. I read in your report that you did get a friend who was able to wire you some money, but you
Yeah.
had trouble getting it.
Yes, at the end, well, like everything, the lack of something is an opportunity for someone else. No, so yes, there is a way to wire money. It's funny because I don't know exactly how, but the thing is that my mom, which is my biggest sponsor, she she transferred money to a Mexican account, and then from there the money went to Cuba. Okay, I don't know exactly how because it's not that easy to do it. Okay,
Okay.
but then Ernesto, he knew these guys, and obviously, I mean, it's not that it's illegal, but it's not 100%
It's not
on the good side, you know.
not exactly kosher as we would
Exactly,
say
exactly.
here.
But it works. It works, and it's funny because I mean, when you're in that kind of situation, you have the only thing that you have is hope and trust.
How far did you actually get?
Oh, I went almost well all the way to halfway of Cuba, which is Santa Clara, which is the city of Che, where that's where he's buried,
Okay.
and it's 600 kilometers. It's a very nice ride. I mean, 600 for many people in ultra cycling, it's a okay distance. But I think that you don't feel it that much because there's a lot to see, a lot of things happen in the road. So at the end, I was disappointed on how fast it went, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I was disappointed about the whole money
But the
thing.
World UltraCycling Association allowed you to establish a point-to-point record, did they not?
Yes, they did. They
Well,
did.
I'm glad for that. And you do plan to go back again.
Yeah, in February. I mean, it's
Okay. Let us go with you.
sure.
Not
How?
not, not in person, but let's talk now that we've made contact,
Yeah.
Coloso, about how we could do that. Now I know that internet service is flimsy at best,
Yeah. That's
but
something else. Yeah.
we can come up with some ways. We've done this before.
Okay.
We're pretty clever dudes here, Colosso.
Yeah,
We figure
sure.
things out. So we kind of like to do some real time reporting. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
what I'm thinking
Yeah.
is maybe you could record some things on your phone or what have you.
Yeah.
And then when you get to somewhere like Havana or someplace where you have
Internet signal.
access,
Yeah.
ship it all to us at once and
Sure.
we'll put it together into a report. Okay.
Oh, yeah. That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, we can
You
work
know,
on
it's
that. And that would be great fun. So your plan is to make it the whole distance. Is this correct?
the whole distance. Yeah. It's
And
1,200K.
you'll
Yeah.
take plenty of money with you.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't matter if it looks weird that I have a backpack full of money, but it's what you need to do. It's what you need
Well,
to do. Oh,
the
yeah.
people, according to your report, were very friendly and
Very much.
accommodating.
Yeah.
A sad world
Mhm.
where we're 90 miles away and we can't go there. I'm not going to affix blame or try to solve that problem.
Mhm.
That's not our job here on ultracycling, except when we hear you talk about Cuba and the wonderful experience you had there, we just say that it's sad it's so difficult for us to get there. And thank you for being with us. Colosso, thank you for that. I
No,
thought
thank you.
when we started this, I says, man, I'll give the old guy 15 minutes. Here we are, an hour, and I'm enjoying every last second of it, Colosso.
No,
And
no, thank you, thank you. And now that you're
our
saying
judges
about
tonight.
Cuba, and now that you're saying about Cuba, it's exactly why. I mean, not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons why I chose to do it in Cuba, to do Cuba. You know, because I understand that countries are something, yeah, but then nations are something else. You know, people are something
Exactly.
else. So
Exactly.
I hate the fact that here in Mexico, the socialists and the communists and this and that. Well, yeah, but that's ideology, and that's government, and that's something else. People, it's different, and I don't want to take the things there, but we are Latinos, we're Americans, so we
Being
have to be
recorded.
together.
This is being recorded on the 9th day of October, and right now we don't even have a government here in the United States.
Well, yeah.
It has certainly been fun to be with you, Coloso.
No,
Thank you
thank
so much for
No,
being
thank
with
you.
us.
UltraCycling Magazine. And the show we
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.